Hey guys, Arch here. Just a quick stream today to show you Ifrit from a healing perspective as people requested. I noticed we've got 6 people on the channel. Great. Okay. Let's see what we can do. We should be able to get a queue relatively quickly, although hold on a second. Just make sure we're... oh, there we go. This is a relatively easy fight. Perspective, it's not overly complicated. I can see chat, yes. Scholar, yes, Scholar. So basically the Scholar is a mitigation type healer as opposed to the White Mage who's just raw power. Now I speak very little Japanese, so don't expect me to be saying much in the old general chat there. In fact, you may not even be able to read it. I'm on my laptop at the moment, so my webcam is not available. Those of you who love seeing my pasty white face will have to get your thrills elsewhere for tonight. But what we can do is at least help this White Mage buff the party. Actually, it's a Scholar. 2 Scholars against Ifrit. So here is the man himself, Ifrit. Now I play with the camera reasonably zoomed out because I like to get a view of the battlefield. If there's a problem, I can zoom in. Someone requested me to do it in first person mode the other day and I laughed and then said no, because that would be horribly difficult due to the amount of AoE. Now I haven't found a good way to command EOS. EOS is the healing pet for the Scholar, so I usually just manually place her around, which seems to work okay. The first attack that he does there is a knockback. So if you're a ranged DPS, or healer for that matter, it's pretty important to stay out of it. It's not overly complicated and it's fairly easy to do. All I'm doing is keeping the tank up. Tank's doing a great job. The off tank is stunning to stop the eruptions, which is a constant attack he does throughout the game, where it'll put this little ball of flame under someone's feet. If it's not interrupted, it explodes and causes massive damage. As you can see, EOS got knocked back again. Move her back in. There's the eruption. Got interrupted. Great. I use limited amount of macros, to be honest, Johnny, and the reason for that is I really don't need them. I don't find the fight that complicated. It's fairly difficult to do whilst talking, to be honest, but so if I go silent for a few seconds, it means I'm in the middle of trying to do something reasonably complicated. But the move he did just then was, I don't recall the name of it, but he basically leaps to the side of the arena and does this fiery charge. It's easy to avoid. He's got a huge telegraph and it's not that hard to avoid. I like to move around a lot because basically if I'm moving I'm not going to get hit by AoE. The main problem I've got with this game is not lag specifically, but the AoE seems fairly dependent on not being somewhere like preemptively. So knowing when something's going to drop and not being there. Trying to avoid AoE in this game can be tricky. Some of that might have something to do with lag. I think everyone on this channel is Aussie, so you probably know that I'm Aussie. And I'm playing on a Japanese server because the latency is better. But the main problem with that is I still think it affects us more than our Japanese counterparts. All the European servers are actually in Canada, not Europe, so the Europeans have got a similar issue in that the space across the Atlantic there causes them some concern. For ours it's not too bad. It's significantly better than West Coast America, which is the only other option. So, you know, what do you do, really? Now that was Plumes. Oh, shit. Plumes goes to the edge of the arena, and then it goes to the middle. So I always move well before, because if I don't get out of it in time and I die. Our healer is he's got himself under control. He will now switch to a double charge, so there's 2 of them. He goes all the way up to 3. 3's not any more difficult than 1, to be honest. I mean, it's fairly easy to avoid. We're about to get the last stage before the bun on the nails. I do have actually quite an extensive guide for this fight up, but it's on the old website, and the missus has taken it down while she does repairs. We've actually taken the YouTube channel down as well, as most of you would have seen, and we're going to rename it. There's a lot of old content on there, and it just wasn't really working. For some reason the audio had degraded. I'm not sure how that even happened, but I'm not really that technical. So again, avoiding the plumes in the middle. I will do another guide for this video without me having to talk whilst fighting, and it'll be more detailed in terms of strategy, blah blah blah. Now we're about to get the nails. Hopefully we've got a black mage, we do. So he will AoE limit break them, which will do massive amount of damage. I'm going to preemptively stone skin myself, because we're about to hit a massive amount of damage. The tank is looking in trouble. Let me just top him up with a bit of shield. There we go. And we got the sucker off. Good, that shields everybody a bit more. We'll just make sure everybody gets back to full health as quickly as humanly possible. I'm being slightly carried here by this other scholar, because commenting on a live stream is more difficult than it looks whilst you're trying to do something like this fight. I've got a leap. Shit. Okay, that could have gone badly. I moved the wrong way actually, but that's okay. Limit breaks back to full, yes. So what will happen now is he will do the same pat again, but he'll add an extra element to it, which you'll see in a second. Yeah, I don't click on a keybinder, but I do tend to click to the left occasionally to the names. I do actually have it set up for control 1 through 8, but to be honest it's not that much faster, and I rarely have to target the DPS, because my AoE heals will actually take care of them in most cases. So I mostly just stay on the tank and keep him on his feet. Not overly complicated. I mean, it's not really complicated at all. It's the biggest problem here is that the DPS start dying. We've actually been pretty lucky here. The DPS have all been fantastic, so I'm very impressed. The other healer is actually carrying me quite a lot at the moment, because as I said, I'm trying to... That was a bad time to limit break. Couldn't see what I was doing. I couldn't... what was I saying? Yeah, the other healer's actually doing a great job. We've lost a tank, but that's okay. Because we'll get him up. I just use Swift Res. Okay, unfortunately when the tank went down we lost control of the interrupts, and that's caused some major headaches, which we may or may not be able to recover from. Looks like we've got it under control. I am rapidly losing out of energy, if you can see the bottom of my screen there, I am in quite a lot of trouble. Now you'll notice I shielded myself at the last second there, which saved my life. Because I wasn't paying attention at all when I was busy looking at the tank's health. And I forgot what phase we were in, and I forgot again, fuck. Sorry guys, I'm usually a bit more talkative than this, but I'm really starting to think that I should be concentrating more on keeping the tank alive. So let me just get him back up to full health and we'll get back to the commentary. Now, Ifrit's nearly dead, so it's not a huge deal. I mean, as I said, he's dead, effectively. I mean, there's no way that we're not going to kill him, because the other healer's fantastic. I like to think I'm holding my own, but he is better than me, basically. I am dying to stupid stuff like this. Yep. That shouldn't have happened. If a DPS does that, it's a disaster, because it taxes the healer. If a healer does it, it's not a big issue, because they just heal themselves. That's what we're good at. That's what we do. So, that's probably for the best. Now, I've put 0 DPS into this fight, and that's more or less normal. I always move in preemptively and refresh everybody with Sucker, which is an AoE heal, and then wait for that to cast, which will destroy anybody that's outside of the range. That said, I mean, the healer just died, but that's okay. I've got him up, and it doesn't matter because he's dead. So Ifrit just dropped. Sorry guys, that was more chaotic than I thought it would be. So anyway, Ifrit drops a random piece of gear. Now, I still don't have the gear from Ifrit. I've farmed Ifrit about 70, 80, 90 times and got nothing, so there's a harpoon. Pretty crappy piece of gear. Anyway, I'm just going to leave the duty. I would say goodbye to these guys, but I don't speak enough Japanese to make it comprehensible, so excuse me. That is Ifrit. Now, that was messy. What I will do is I will record a video of Ifrit and do commentary over the top so as not to completely destroy any type of sense, because that was messy. So anyway, I am going to go get Claire. She's going to log in and do, while you're here, I assume, you're not here to see me, and she'll be doing her League of Legends Pudge run, so she's quite keen for that. I can see we've got 90, 120 people in the channel now. I assume you're all here for Claire? Yep, thought so. Okay, well, I'll get her your way. If you do want to see any more of Final Fantasy, give Claire a yell, or just let us know, and I will do some more videos for it. It's okay as far as games go. Streaming, the quality is not going to be 110% until I get my PC back up and running. I'm having a bit of a problem at the moment. I'm sure Claire's mentioned it. The Titans are down, so we're basically using the business PC for uploading, and it's not ideal. I mean, the quality's okay. It's not terrible. It's watchable, but only just. So we will get that back up and running as soon as possible. And the webcam's going to be down as well. So those of you who are used to looking at Claire's smiling face are going to be disappointed as well. Anyway, I'm going to log and let her come in. She should be about 5 minutes. Until then, we'll play some background footage of League from the final series that she did against All-Star Rex. Okay guys, catch you later.